right, good evening, everyone. The webinar is going to start in about 10 more minutes. There's a lot to unpack today, so I'll just leave this on the screen for now. Do check out the other webinars by Vantage in this link below. Any questions that you have before we begin the session, feel free to put them in the Q&A and then we answer them as we go along. We will begin in about 5 more minutes. So if you have any questions before we begin the session, feel free to put it in the Q&A section of Zoom, and I'll try my best to answer them. Once again, this webinar is brought to you by Vantage and Zeta Labs. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm just gonna start a little earlier this for this session because I think there is an announcement coming up in 15 minutes. I think that's gonna move the markets a little bit. So we'll be able to see some movement during this live analysis. I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce myself first, and then we go through the content today. Today it's a live analysis session. I'm just gonna do it in this format because I'm not sure if you guys can see if I were to put it in full screen. Okay, so today's live analysis session is brought to you by Vantage. My name is Sherman, and I'm an FX strategist. If you have any questions during this webinar or after the webinar and you want to reach out to me, feel free to direct message me on LinkedIn. And before we begin, I want to make sure that you're aware that trading derivatives, FX, crypto, or any form of CFDs carries significant risk. Do ensure that any materials that I'm going to cover today, it's in line with your own personal trading objectives. If you need any advice, do seek out professional advice for your own trading needs. Make sure you fully understand the risk before you act upon them. So as usual, today's webinar, we're just going to go through the same format. We're going to go through some events first, and then I'll talk about some of the trade ideas for this week, for the next 3 days, as well as the coming week. I would like to go through the dollar index, euro dollar, and gold for today. And if we do have time, we can look at some of the other cross pairs. Okay. I'm just going to share this other screen that I have on. Okay. So before we begin, this tool that I'm using, it's TradingView. It's free to use, and of course they do have a pricing tier where they provide additional features on top of it. You can use this free tool or the MT4 platform that Vantage is using. Likewise, if you want to link it to Vantage data feed, it's available on TradingView as well. All right, so let's begin with DXY. I think DXY, the dollar index, it's at a very, very nice position. So let's go through from top-down approach. Let's start off with daily overall look on where we are on the daily time frame. We see this ascending channel that's been forming for over, let's say if you go all the way back, it has been this upward channel since December last year, and even during this transition period of from April to December 2021. So we see this huge move upwards to the all-time high for the dollar index. The dollar is currently at the highest it has ever been in, I would say, since the last time around 2001, right? So it's roughly around 109.02 right now. From the daily time frame, we can see that RSI is slowing down. RSI is basically it looks at the momentum in which this move upwards. We're looking at the growth of this momentum upwards. We can see that the initial moves are huge. This two moves up here and this move up here is big, and it forms a higher high, higher low. Right, this is the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now we are at this point in time where it has already made a higher high, but that move is not as explosive as expected. So can we say that it's a break of structure? Yes, we can say that it has broken the market structure towards the high. We have to be cautious here because the event that's going to happen in, say, the next 15 to 30 minutes might push it all the way up here for the continuation of this trend. But if we're interested in a scalp downwards for the dollar index, we can go down to the hourly time frame, and what we see here is that this move up here. So we form a high, high, low, high, high, right? And what we are trying to find is a break of structure, right? But on the 1 hour time frame, this was the low that we are trying to this is the low that we're trying to break, right? In terms of a bearish move, but it maintains above this level. So this is still a bullish move by all means on the hourly time frame. Okay. Of course, we have this secondary trend that came down for the start of last week, and then now we have made a higher high for this entire week. So if you look closely at the 1 hour, there is this attempt to actually break. This is what happened last week. So we form a high high, right? This was the point that we're trying to break. It formed a bullish flag here, and as expected, prices broke above this high, and now we are saying this new high above is a middle of very strong momentum, might be due to like an event that pushed this above our previous high, but you don't really see a lot of buyers coming in to actually push this. So this higher high here shows us suggests a weakening of the dollar strength, and we can actually look for an opportunity to short the dollar. So what's the game plan for a buy, and what's the game plan for a sell? So let's go with the easy one. For dollar strength, this was the last high that we wanted to, this was the last low that we that caused this high. So this is where we will look for a buy in the dollar, right? So prices, what we're expecting is prices to actually come down here. It might actually make up, break a new high and then come back down here, but we'll see. But this is not a place where we should enter any buys. Buys can be entered, but just know that the upside would be limited, right? So we can see that this was the break above high. This is still not considered a bearish move, but this break up above our previous drop tells us that this was the new high that was created, and what we were expecting for a strong push was to be above our previous high, right? But it didn't make this previous high, so we can see that the strength of dollar has been decreasing from this move upwards, and we form a new high here. So what is the expected move, right? I would say this is our previous resistance. This hasn't been tested yet, so we want to test this resistance. So the expectation is we hit here. If we are able to liquidate any stop losses here, that will be the expected move, and then have price fall back down to this level, right? So there's a high chance that this will be tested, right, in the next 8 minutes, right? This will be tested, and then if it continues upwards, we might see an all-time high, right? not an all-time high, but in the last 20 years, right? And then we will be looking for resistance and the price to fall back down. But I would say this is a kind of a typical pattern where you have this channel here, and before any major move, usually a breakout will happen. So this move is highly anticipated. Okay, so let's go to our dollar, our euro dollar, and you can kind of see from a long-term perspective, we are actually looking at a very strong downtrend, right? The euro dollar is sometimes can be compared to the dollar index as a inversely correlated pair. We can see that prices fell from here up, and then now we're consolidating in this region here. So momentum has slowed down significantly, but if it can make its way down to 0.96, somewhere with a coinciding with this downward trend, that would be sort of like the expected move, right? So it's something like that, and then come down here on the daily time frame. Okay, so what can we see? If you want to zoom in, we know that it's a bearish trend. We are looking for again, the bearish trend begins will be optimal when it reaches this level, right? So we sort of want to see prices move up to this level and then come down here. So the 1.015 level will be a great place for us to actually short. And then if it breaks out, can look for a retest, and then it'll go even higher. But still, not a good place for us to sell. It might be a scenario where it breaks down, retest, and come down here. This is a strong support level, tested 3 times on the 1 hour the 1 hour time frame. Tested 3 times. We can expect it if it were to break, to form a strong resistance, and then down to our desired level. Okay, so news is coming in 6 more minutes. 5 more minutes, yeah. So this will be the first plan for our downward move. The downward move to for the bearish move, and then if prices were to move up, we can actually take a sell at this level. Again, can we see the level? You can use Fibonacci retracement as another tool to guide us and find out what's this level here. So slightly off in terms of timing, right? If you can hit this, it's around the 0.786, and then it comes back down. So this the 125 to 150 level will be a better place for us to sell. Otherwise, it would be something like this, and then it goes down. Okay, so this is kind of the idea for euro dollar. 15 minutes wise, I would say if you go down even further, there is a support here that was formed since yesterday. Again, there's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of people that bought at this level, right? And this is shown by the rejection of this level. So every time it touches this level, buyers were quick to enter to buy up all of the orders here, which is back up, and then came back down here again. They defended this area. So there are a lot of buyers here. What happens is that if prices were to fall below this level, then you might see a triggering of stop losses or liquidating of accounts, and then prices will push it down even further. And that's where we look for a retest of this level where buyers are still in to break even, and then continue the drop down. Okay, so that's kind of like the for euro dollar. We're in the middle right now. I think largely depends on the announcements later. Okay, so again, this is a tight level. We want to break out these two areas before we see any confirmation for this week's NFP. Or it might be the case that this pushes prices up to this level and then NFP causes it to come down again. Okay, this is for euro dollar. It's another 2 more minutes before the big announcement. Let's take a look at pound. No, let's take a look at dollar. Gold. Okay, so I think on the last session we did mention about a strong support level happening at this area. So definitely a nice place for us to start looking for buys. And if this were to break, then we'll see the 1,600s and the 1,500s. Will that be possible? That would be so this happened during the this move up for gold happened during the COVID crisis, and then this move up was due to the Russian war. So we'll definitely see a move towards our gold, or if there is a huge event happening, a big event that's unexpected. But otherwise, a big event that's positive for the economy and for the world. Otherwise, I think prices will take this support as an indication to retrace back up. So if you go down to the lower time frame, just want to look at this quickly and then switch it back to DXY to see what's going on there. Okay, so like I said, DXY is let's take a look at DXY. It's let's calm down happening right now. So again, in a channel, when we see such a move, incomplete movement down towards this level, right? It's basically just getting ready to do a push-up. And what we're expecting is a giant wick, hopefully, right? One form of a giant wick around this level. Otherwise, if it's a solid candle up, this is only 1 hour, we can take a look at 5 minutes, right? So if we can actually have a push up, a solid candle upwards, then it would be something that's suitable for us actually retest this high and bring the price back down. So as news are coming out, we can see the price coming down. And this was the expected move down, liquidate up and move up. There seems to be a delay in terms of the results. So let's give it a while. Seems like the move is downwards to complete this channel. So seems like there was an expectation of so it'll take a while for us to actually see what's coming up from this area. All right, so yeah, there's been a delay in terms of results. So I would say like expect some volatility in this area first, and then once we get out this this channel, then we can look at the retest for a better entry. Okay, so let's look at gold. Again, gold is at this very strong support level on the higher time frame. So what we want to see is this last move down, this point here. would be the area for us to take. So buyers need to break above this level, retest at the Fibonacci 78.6 or the golden zone before we do a buy and push the price up higher. So if this if there isn't a break of this market structure, then we'll probably see, actually what we can actually do is find additional confluence. So this is on a 15 minutes time frame, right? So again, breaking of this level would probably result in a break of this downward sloping channel, right? And what we'll expect would be something like this, and then move up again. Otherwise, I think this channel is a solid channel to enter this long-term support. You might see something like that to NFP before either breakdown or a bullish buyout. So ADP employment change, we still do not see any 132. I don't see much move. I think euro dollar did move a little bit back up to the. So I guess NFP is still the main event for this week, right? So this channel is really strong. Probably see movements between these two levels to the NFP on Friday. Okay, so pound dollar. Pound dollar is, I think everything is in relation with the dollar index right now. So you'll see similar movements in euro dollar and pound dollar. So not much of a difference here. So we, on a daily time frame, you can see that it's a long-term downward movement. Let's draw the channel just to provide some context. Go down to the 1 hour time frame, right? I would say there are a lot of levels that were not filled. So this level here, so when I say it's not filled, it means that there was this strong support level here, right? This strong support level here, right? And buyers were trying to buy this level up, but sellers pushed them down without revisiting this zone here, right? So this was the other attempt by the buyers to buy up. I think this was on the last day of the week, right? 19th of August was yep, on the Friday, right? So this was the inducement, and this high failed to take up this imbalance here. So there was a flag that was created maybe in the zone here, right? It took the last Friday's high and then came back down. So on the RSI level, we can sort of derive the value. RSI is, it's so how we actually derive this RSI value, we can just add in the RSI value. But based on the price action, you can also tell that RSI is actually making a higher high. So if some of you are familiar with the divergence, so price is making a lower low, but because the momentum is slowing down, with every low that it makes, it's getting higher and higher, right? So your RSI is actually ascending as well. So usually when this pattern happens, we can see a bullish reversal. So some of you might be familiar with, say, a wedge as well, right? So comes out, break out this level, retest, and move on. So we're expecting such a move. Right? Otherwise, the channel holds, and then it breaks below this point down to this level, and then you need some sort of bullish movement to go. again, on just by looking at price levels, right? We are making lower lows, but the momentum in which we make these lows is getting slower. So if you're going to sell at this area, I would say make those sells the scalp and look for reversal patterns for the buy, because the buy will be the big swinger. Okay, again, what do I mean by reversal patterns, right? So if you look at some of the previous examples where price is already paid out. So from a lower low, right? And this was the last high that sellers sold. So for us to form a bullish move, it has to break both this level, retest, and then goes again. Same for this level. This was the previous low. Zoom in a little bit. So we need to see such one big explosive move, right? Back to this level, right? Retest the golden zone, right? You can sort of not this level here. 661, right? This is the golden zone, 8 weeks, and then move on. So it's kind of a standard reversal where you look at the last high that made that low, and we want to reclaim that level as a buyer before we enter. So again, the idea here is that as the lower high, let me just clear everything, right? As the lower high becomes an easier target for buyers, we should expect a reversal. So, right. So we zoom in a little bit, right? This was the last high that we want to reclaim. That caused this this break of structure to the downside. So this is the level that we want to reclaim as a buyer, right? And then depending on this wave up, we can sort of like determine where is our golden zone, and that will be our levels to re-enter. High probability trade to re-enter. Okay, so DXY, yeah, not the kind of movement that I was looking for. This kind of standard, right? You have a lower low, right? Just expecting a breakout of this level. Might happen later tonight, or later in the day for people in the US, right? But for us in Asia, usually when this happens, I would say it's just going to play out in this channel. This is again the dollar index. So we'll look to buy the dollar again somewhere at this level here. So extend it out, draw a line across, right? So what we'll be expecting is something like that, and then breaks out, retests, and then goes up again. So this is where we would enter. And if you look at euro dollar, that move that we see here, dollar index falling means euro dollar appreciating, and then this is our resistance level. We'll be looking for a break and then re-enter down to this level. But otherwise, it'll be boring to NFP. I think that's the kind of like the gameplay. And then for gold, we just want to make sure that we're looking for buy entries. Right now, this is the level to reclaim. So buyers need to push past this for us to enter with a high probability trade here. Otherwise, if prices were to fall, then this will be the level to reclaim. Okay, so that's kind of like the general idea, I think. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the Q&A. I do have one. There is about gold. So just in time for ADP news, means for gold support really means for gold bullish, but there isn't much strong bull movement just yet. Do we wait further hours to see we can conclude the bulls are waiting for bigger news, or bulls not really as strong as bears maybe? So I'll say the biggest concern right now, I think technically, I think what we can, as bulls, what we can actually be assured of is that this support level, right, is a very strong support level, right? If we were to break this level, then we might see a cascading liquidation down further, right? But because of it has been tested like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right, for gold. So I would say this is a very strong support level. Then again, what we are trying to look for is not to enter until we see a break of structure. So even for this, this was a downwards move, and then there's this break of structure for this previous high, but it wasn't in our in the zone of our long-term support. So there wasn't a strong strong reason for us to actually buy at this level. But now that we are in this level, this support has really entered this level. So what I would suggest is that for bulls, right, just keep looking for the previous high, right? We need the market to take out all these highs. So for now, this most recent highs. This is the most recent high, right? We need the price to break this level, right? If it doesn't break this level, it's just going to be there's no reason for us to be buying. What I would expect is a continuation of downwards movement, consolidation, right? During NFP, it pushes price down, breaks above our previous high, and then we'll buy at this retest. So if you really want a big push, a big move upwards, we have to have this sort of move where we liquidate some sort of buyers and the stop losses before we break into a higher high. Otherwise, the move on the lower time frame is bullish, but on the higher time frame, let's say on a daily, weekly, right? We are still seeing this move here. So we're still seeing this move here, right? So if it doesn't liquidate enough people, or we do not get enough buyers into the system, then this is more of the expected move. Retest your long-term support and then goes down. Okay, this is technically the more sound game plan, right? It is to break this level, this long-term support, and let it retest into this support turn resistance level, and then we sell at this level down. Would there be a chance that it does this? Yes, but more often than not, a break of the strong support would become a resistance, and then people will continue to sell. But of course, this will mean people are pulling away from gold and into dollar, and usually an event like this would be and a more than expected increase in interest rates by the Federal Reserve. So the expected is 0.75 to 350 to 375 by the end of this year. And if we actually make it past 4% before the end of this year, 4% interest rates in the US, above that, then you'll see a strong downward move. A lot of factors plays in that move. Basically, inflation has to be high again, so it has to be above 8.6% this in August, and there's a strong move by the Fed to actually curb inflation and increase the growth rate of their interest rates by the end of this year. Okay, I guess that's about it for gold. Another question is that OP is bullish on gold as well as stocks and equity markets. We see a lot of sales in the upcoming week So fundamentally, gold can be served as an alternative for less risk, right? Yeah, I think if you're talking about fundamentals, gold is usually a safe haven. So people usually trade dollar for gold. Actually, if you look at VTI, right, for equity. So VTI is basically the total stock market ETF. It looks at, I think, 5,000 stocks across the US markets. And what we're seeing here is this downward move, right? So this is the lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and it breaks above this high. So technically, you can say this is a bullish move, but there was a warning by the Federal Reserve that traders of the market are more optimistic than they expect them to be. So and they would at all costs reduce inflation rate. So this move might be some sort of a unexpected move by traders being too optimistic. So we have to be careful. I would say that let's do 786. Kind of like 786 quite a bit because it's really a discounted price. So again, you see this long-term support here. All right. Let's say long-term support, higher time frame support. If we can actually get back into this level, and on the lower time frame see a change of market structure, then I would say equities will. But still, there's a long way down to this level. It's about another. Now we're at 400 points down to this level. So yeah, we have to kind of wait and see. I think being patient is the best thing to do right now. Everyone is expecting this reversal. So if everyone is expecting it, then more likely than not, it will not happen, right? So we'll see. Again, be careful with the gold bias here because of this bias of a downward trend. Yeah, and I think there's still quite a bit of move down for us to this support level. We're just at the tip of the support level. This is not a double bottom. This is a 5-minute double bottom, which shouldn't be used as a reference, right? Again, we'll still need this lower, either this high or this high to be broken. On a 5 minutes, if this is broken, then we can pick this up. But yeah, probably play out tonight. Again, DXY, if we delete all drawings, right? So yeah, so wasn't as explosive as I wanted it to be, right? So this was the channel that I was talking about. The idea was that we break out on ADP news, but it seems like it's not gonna happen. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna cover for today. I'm a little bit over time. Again, these sessions will be conducted every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So feel free to ping me on LinkedIn or ping me via this during these webinars. So there are previous webinars by Vantage in this link below. Do you have any questions on trading or in terms of like execution and the type of instruments that Vantage is providing, you can email them at support@vantagemarkets.com. All right, once again, thank you guys for coming today. And then I hope to see you guys soon next Tuesday. Okay. All right, thank you.